Rehabilitation. Hello, welcome back. Teh Tarik Hour. As always, it's me, Azreen, along with Ah Kit. And we are recording on the first week of Ramadan, which is for Ah Kit is nothing lah, but for me it's like
I think
fasting
I
time.
saw I saw your face also super tired. So today
It's a very chill, very relaxed podcast. But the topic not chill, not relaxed one.
But I think it's we guys will know lah because we are at the caption today. Then
yeah, title already there. Of course, we're talking about the recent case of the Era FM DJs making fun of Indian
Indian dance.
Basically a traditional dance there. It quickly became a very controversial issue because it kind of seems like these are very well-known people, public figures, and they are purposely it looks like they are purposely mocking or making fun of this traditional Indian dance.
Yes, it's quite insult the way because they are making fun because just now we saw the videos the TikToks or some things videos. It's some kind of like it's a really insult because this one is traditionals and then you are laughing. But what can we see? Maybe for my perspective view it's not because we are saw on the particulars videos. It's just a very small part on it. We don't know the entire picture. Maybe some people is thinking the traditional dance is maybe insult, but some is not because not insult because they are trick it as it's a comedies or something. What do you think?
I mean, it depends on your perspective on that. Of course, a lot of times when people do this, it comes from a place of ignorance. They don't know. Like if we were to change that dance to a traditional Malay dance, would that still be acceptable then?
Yes, I
because like you're still making fun of the thing.
Yes,
right?
Still making fun of the things. Then you want to become as like a comedies for people to laughing or some things. But if let's say we have to put the guideline like we have to respect the people in the firstly. Firstly, we have to respect. No matter it's Indians or Chinese, we have a respectful. But after that, we make fun. It doesn't matter. But you cannot say, the Indians I purposely because Indians I make fun of him because the racist.
I mean, you have to look at it like this, right? Because when you want to make fun of a certain when you're trying to attack this kind of or make fun of this kind of cultural thing, you have to understand you're coming in from what position are you? Because if you are the majority race, right, and then you're making fun of a minority race, it kind of looks like you are punching down in terms of like comedy. When in fact, when it comes to comedy, you should be punching up. Like you should be attacking the people who are more than you Or if you're trying to make fun if you are trying to make fun of the Indian culture, if it comes from an Indian person who understands the culture and the nuance, then it probably would translate better.
Yes.
Right now, the case is that it was 3 Malay guys making fun of Indian dance that they might not understand what is the importance and significance of the dance which can come off a bit like, you are making fun of something you don't understand kind of thing.
But come to the public, for sure this come to the public will mention, public will thinking, this is really disrespect the Indian group peoples. This can see from the pictures, their entire videos, they make the people see these 3 fellows is disrespect for their.
It kind of looks like the dance is the dance is a joke lah.
It's insult. It's an insult. It's like menghina.
But okay, so I mean, so we both on that level we understand that this is not really it's a bad thing to do lah. It's
a really bad thing.
Because if we were to link it back to something of a similar case, the consular.
Yeah.
This
but consulars is different story because now this 3 DJ actually is a public is a
actually known people is a public figure
public figure is a public figure.
So they have influence kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So you are bring out this message actually is more stronger than the con man. The con man.
I mean, the con man. Yes, it shows a lot of the racist thinking that a lot of Malaysians still have but he is just a con man who's a con man who just sells corn on the street So not much influence there Whereas these 3 who have a prominent show on Era FM and are quite well known in the public sphere.
Yes, public figures.
Your actions can resonate to a lot of people influence a lot of people. So if you as a public figure feels like this is okay to do, how would it impact other people as well who look up to you kind of thing, right?
But definitely these 3 fellas, they have the some punishments lah. It's not say punishment, it's some
But
like
what kind of punishment here? Because like, yes, I understand people. You need to set an example.
Social work.
Social. I don't know what is the punishment. I haven't seen any specific official punishment. As far as I can tell, it's just people condemning them a lot lah. Shaming in public lah is one thing. Because consequently, there's also when you shame people in public, they might affect you. Like people don't want to work with you, or they label you as racist and everything. But I maybe it won't impact their work lah. I think being racist in Malaysia, I don't think is very harmful actually. We think about
seriously, we're thinking about Malaysia's this 3R issue actually is we quite often some people try to attack these issues. It's like racist or racist. I mean, more is a racist lah. You say maybe the Malay guy and Chinese, a lot of this kind of issue. But if let's say Malaysia, we believe Malaysia, we got the multi-racial countries, multi races. So you can see Singapore, Australia, also the same things. But we have our Malaysian have any guideline to speech in the public? Have any guideline?
Okay, I don't think there's an actual guideline in terms of how there is laws against this kind of offensive speech lah.
Yes.
But what constitute offensive speech is it's very up to how the person is, or like how it's presented and everything lah. So it's very gray area in terms of like how to determine the guideline there lor.
Okay, why I want to compare with these two countries, one is Singapore, one is Australia. You see, Singapore's they are very straightforward. If let's say you are touching these 3R in the public speaking, straight away you go to the jail. It's very straightforward and very strict law.
But then there's the thing, right? There's making fun of race and religion and all this, yes. But what if it's an issue that requires tackling complicated issues about race and religion, like something like Bumiputra rights? If someone were to criticize that, you could still consider that as like against the law of offensive speech, because you are attacking an inherent benefit to the race. So people can use that against you. Or if you were to say that religion is being used to as a tool in political sphere, that is also can be considered like an attack also. So to say like completely blanket, don't speak about it is I think it's not a good idea also.
Yep.
So it needs to be an understanding of what constitute as offensive or what constitute as necessary discussion.
Yeah, because it's the kind of an atmosphere is not so freedoms like I can say it's not so freedom. It's like Singapore's, but in Australia different. Australia is more freedom and freedom of speech. Because we are in Malaysia, we have to maybe we have go to maybe very very strict law. Maybe we can learn from Singapore's, or maybe we are like Australia. We can speak. It's a more freedom speech. But we have a certain guideline. We have to Malaysia. We have certain guideline for that. We cannot over.
Of course, there needs to be a limit to what you can say and consider as free speech lah. You can't say absolute free speech.
Yes.
That is pointless also. If you say absolute free speech is similar to, like I've always used the example, free speech, you go to a theater and say fire when there's no fire. Yep. You should be considered illegal to do that, because you can't just say free speech. I can say whatever I want, so I can scream, or I can go to the airport and say bomb threat. But you cannot fight. You cannot.
Actually, this thing is when have this you have
negative
authorized
impact,
to have free speech. You have to want the first thing in your mind. You have to pay respect for people first.
When you go like that, right? I think it's all comes back to the fact of like how people are educated, lor. So it shouldn't be like the focus shouldn't be like on the punishment and the guidelines.
You have
rather in the education of how is this information given.
I mean, the very first guideline. If let's say you are pay respect to people, I'm not too good to insult you. Maybe we have a difference. We can say, how come like this? Maybe I give a joke. Maybe it's not so insult. That's this kind of level.
The thing is what different people have different level of respect to different things. What some people might not respect Indian people. Some people might not respect Chinese people. So how they wouldn't consider that as disrespecting them? What? Because maybe they weren't brought up with the idea of like seeing all these other races as equal. Because let's be real, there are some very very racist and uneducated people in Malaysia. Like I said, I told you the story of like this Grab uncle who admit he's a racist because he doesn't like all these like African people coming in and everything. It comes from a place of ignorance lah. When you shouldn't be saying like, oh, the entire people is like that just because you have few bad experiences with them. Man. Similarly, when it comes to this case, right, you can easily say like, oh, the corn seller, he probably had some bad experience with some Indian person. Then for life, he will just say like, oh, racist towards them, no? I mean, in fact, there's a lot more other people that are representative good of the Indian community and whatnot, right?
So this is come to the education part, no?
It
It's
ultimately comes
when if let's say I think it's the uncles or all that is the old generations, but come to the like our generations or our younger generation, we are in the same school. We are in the Kebangsaan school. Because why I understand Malay and Indians is because we are from a government school. Is we gang with we play footballs and with the Malay guys and then
that used to be the case where it's very harmonious, but you see how our culture
we have
now.
Fight before. Actually, we in a school, like the secondary
of course,
school,
we got fight also lah.
Oh, this group of Malay we fight, but after that we are friends. But if let's say people are like the independent school, like Chinese school, maybe they are some not very gel with the Malay guys. Maybe they have a misunderstanding. Oh, the Malay, how come the Malay is like that? So some people say, oh, okay, this is very typical. Hey, Malay is very lazy. Oh, Chinese
Okay,
are very.
but who implanted that idea? This is your
my grand generation.
No, it's Mahathir actually is the one that really highlight or promote this kind of thinking lah. Because he always say, we need to provide all these benefits for Malay because they need this kind of thing, and then they need to push themselves to be better and all this, and it reinforces the stereotypes of like Chinese being like money minded, Indian are all gangsters, and Malays are all lazy, and we perpetuate that kind of thinking still. And when you mentioned the school thing, right, I was going to go there also. Our culturally, our school is now already like, you got the Chinese school, you got the Indian school, you got the Malay school already, or the agama school.
So
the separation is the divide is causing us to become this how to say, less respectful, less sensitive towards things like this.
Okay, it's some kind of like this. If let's say you are from agama school, I'm from the Chinese independent school. The language we are different.
Already, right?
The language is already different. Of course, the mindset and the thoughts, everything is different. This one is already divide the people. Of course, I can't understand you because all the while
you never like interacted with them.
Yes, yes. But before, because I'm from Kebangsaan school, when a lot of friends, even my colleagues, ask, how come you can do a podcast with Malay guys? Also, we can understand each other because we're
both from Kebangsaan.
Kebangsaan, what? Also, how? Because some of the Chinese, they are thinking, they are only stick within the Chinese group people. You know this kind of mentalities. I very dislike this kind of mentalities people.
But here's the thing, right? I wouldn't say like generally the entire population is that like I do think the younger generation are not as bad lah.
The younger generations lah.
I see the younger generation are much more open, more acceptable lah.
Yes.
It's I feel like it's within the 30s, 40s kind of like generation that's still hold on to this close-minded mentality. I don't know if it's particularly because our period that time, like we started the whole separating the schools and everything, right? And then the people hanging out with certain groups only and not really gelling together.
But if let's say the school already, is established for futures, but for adult, we have to educate. Maybe in the TV, we have to educate like Pretonas, those kind of
those ads,
advertising, right?
But I don't know if the people still do that anymore.
Colorblind or this kind of education for people who are watching the TV, watching the shows. We have the more this kind of video like Azreen Ahmad videos.
I don't know if it's like we're able to reach that level anymore because it feels like everyone's so divided. Like you see how easily these things become, people become triggered by this thing, like sikit-sikit. Like we bring up the socks, sometimes.
Yes. We are lack of Azreen Ahmad. Seriously, nowadays, because previously, like old days, we are working our 20 years old at times. Azreen Ahmad, they create a lot this kind of videos. It come up actually it's influenced me a lot. It create this called colorblind now is implant into my in my mind because
I mean,
we have
okay.
this.
The thing is,
colorblind-
right, you shouldn't be colorblind as well, lah. We should understand and accept people of different races and different color, and that's how we can understand their problems and their backgrounds and everything, lah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean the
more like
colorblind is because your
it shouldn't be a factor in terms of
Yes.
like how you interact with people, lah.
Yes,
It
yes.
shouldn't be like because this guy is Indian and black, I scared this person. It shouldn't be like that one,
Actually, this message they are bring for those Chinese, even the Chinese and the Malay, the old generation people who I can understand, because sometimes just Azreen Ahmad, they create a lot of videos they are doing in the neighborhoods and saying this and saying that. So they create a story to make the old generation people understand, not say misunderstand. More understand the culture. I think we should have maybe now we should have one more Azreen Ahmad.
I mean, okay,
You
in
know?
terms of overcoming this problem, right? It shouldn't come from like a place of punishment, lah. Because when you say guidelines and rules and regulation, right? I think it will have an opposite effect, lah. To a certain extent, you can do for certain things that you can you can set guidelines to say that let's not put hate speech and everything like that, lah. Because that's understandable. Something like outwardly making fun of certain races, or like prohibiting yourself from selling to certain races, like the corn seller not selling sorry, K word. The K word. So the K word, and then the dance for the Era FM people doing that. Yes, those are understandable regulations, but you shouldn't say like, oh, we cannot talk about race at all, or we cannot criticize a certain aspect of religion at all, because that would do the opposite effect, because then people will think like, oh, you're trying to suppress me from telling my truth also, what?
Actually, I say the punishments is the punish. This word is quite heavy, heavy. Maybe a bit, some people think, oh, punishment maybe is a rotan, not rotan, maybe you put in jail or something. We can do a social works. Social works make the people is more understand the socials. So which means is you have to do the social works with how many hours this one to contribute. It's not like say, okay, maybe this is another story. I see some the motor racers. They have a rotan and then put the telinga like that.
I see, like the racist, not racist,
the motor racer.
Mat Rempits.
Mat Rempits.
They put up all like 20 Mat Rempits, and then they call them to do the squats and the
Yes, why not?
something like that.
This group people
embarrass them out like that.
Not embarrass. We try to do the social work. Even the group of people also can do the social work. Social work to contribute the socials. This is what I'm thinking.
But that's the thing, right? If I'm playing devil's advocate here, of course, like I think you're coming from a good place saying that, oh, okay, this person made fun of the Indian community. So maybe his punishment is to do social work with the Indian community. Maybe help in food shelter that is primarily Indian focused area or something like that. The question comes is that, will that be genuine for them to change themselves? Like, that's the thing, lah. You hope that the idea is you rehabilitate the person and make them a better person, lah. But sometimes, you don't know whether or not people actually take this into heart, lah. Right? Because you can try as much as you can. Sometimes the only thing that works for them is the stick rather than the carrot, lor. That is the issue, lah. Because if you are already 40, 50 years old, right, and you already brought up with this kind of mentality, is it easy for you to let go of that kind of mentality? Because I do believe some people are quite stubborn. I will tell straight, in Malaysia, some people will stubborn die believe in their belief there, lor. And no matter what you do, it's not gonna change them.
So that's why I come up with the social work ideas. Social work ideas is make you to contribute the country. No matter you willing to do or not willing to do, you have to do it, because this is the government, the regulations. They say you have to, because you are insult other races, you have to do the social works. This is a line.
So that's your suggestion, lah, in terms of like social work, kind of like
you have to go to
community work.
Because this Malaysia land, it's not say you just only Malays. It's not just only Malay. It's not just only Chinese group people here, or not just Indians, or not just Vietnamese. We have a lot of people here. If let's say you not understand, we try to pay respect first. Firstly we have pay respect. No matter is which races, even Bangla, even Vietnamese, we have a respect because they're humans. As long as, or maybe it's animals.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your perspective there. Like, you're coming more towards like, let's focus on how we can resolve the conflict there after a person has done it. Whereas from my perspective is I want to focus more on the education part of like what causes us to lead to that divide first. Because to be honest, like, this only happens because our country has continued to divide. Well, particularly West Malaysia lah. If we look at East Malaysia, I don't think they have this much of an issue lah. I could be wrong, but for now I see it's a lot of the cases is in West Malaysia lor. And you can see that in West Malaysia we are very segregated in terms of like communities and whatnot. It didn't used to be as close as back then lah. Because back then there wasn't much like, vocational schools. There wasn't as much international schools, private schools that really separate the children and the people there lor. You had to go either kebangsaan school, or you can afford for the really, really private high, which not a lot of people can afford lor. I do believe that we need to focus more on towards kebangsaan school, improve that, and then put people more towards to mingle with other people lor.
Yep.
I different
agree.
races.
I absolutely agree.
Because even if you put your guideline there, right, and your punishment there lah, it still doesn't promise the fact that they won't happen again, because you're not really teaching them why it's wrong. You're just telling them it's wrong.
Okay, for our generations, 30 years old, 40 years old, maybe our generation,
They need to go re-education camp.
re-education camp. But for the youngster,
like China, when you're education camp.
the youngster like the secondary school, actually is everything is come from the educations lah. From
It is,
very
yeah,
young, from child, from child, then come to teen, and then to adult. These periods you have to like educate them. We are the same. We are the same. We we are Malaysian. We are the same. We are the same.
I feel like Malaysia a lot of ego lah. You don't want to accept they're wrong one kind of thing.
But this actually we are the same. We are the same. We are Malaysian. It make our country grow. If let's say we are always divided, people will say, oh, Malaysians okay lah, divided. So a lot of people have come to make money. From a lot of investors come to Malaysia, make money. After make money, they bring money back to their home country.
There's no pride as you as a Malaysian anymore,
Yes.
like that, right? But you have to understand who is perpetuating all this kind of thought,
our Emma, our Emma.
our politician so I mean, okay, that's the thing, right? The politician really push this kind of narrative, and then you implant it into the people's mind, and then it becomes like normal thinking, that's the thing, right?
You see, the politicians actually, there are a lot of politicians. A lot of politicians they are not just want to make Malaysia good. They only want to make their pocket in.
Well,
good.
I mean, you see, Sabri recently, how much pocket is, how many,
make their pocket good.
so big.
I don't know. Still
but he's
Malaysian,
still MCO.
but Malaysian can we awake? You see, what's the politicians say? Always say Bumi Putra, when we away all this, all that. In the end, who's the pocket is big? A lot of the money. It's not you. It's the
boss make more money while you work more hours. What happened? You vote all this and then become like this.
Yep.
Where is the justice there? And then you end up focusing on issue like racistness.
In our ground here. I point you, you point here,
and then you fight each other. And then you forget the real issue there.
But the up there people.
You see, that is the thing.
Yeah,
like,
class
solidarity. You think, okay, you see, all we fight each other, but you think the rich people, they care, man? You're Indian, you're Chinese, you're Malay, man? They don't care. They see your pocket. Then you see your pocket big.
The rich people, no matter you are what races, and they don't care. Even they are Chinese or doesn't matter.
I mean, you can
we
see,
got money, we can do
you can
things,
see Robert Koch, all this, like, they all say in the big, I don't like Mahathir, all this. In the end,
yes,
business. What makes sense for the money? What makes sense for the pocket? Everything is good, then we all enjoy, but they get to enjoy. You as the people do what? Fight each other, and then you go back to your work. You work 10 hours, and then you get peanut like that one.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't give me fire. Fire up in the puasa month. But that's the thing. It's a frustrating issue about Malaysian in that We are very ignorant about this, and we choose to, focus on all this small issue, and then the politician hold on to it and then make it a bigger issue.
Yes, the benefits is go to the politician. The benefit who gain this benefit, It's
Like-
not us,
Yes, I understand you're upset, like, people making fun of your culture and all this, and you have every right to be upset. But the idea is to educate them and not to slap them all the time, because then if you keep slapping them, they'll just be angry at you. What?
True.
You don't think if a kid it keeps doing wrong, right, and you keep slapping that person, do you think that kid will understand why? Maybe not. Maybe he will grow up thinking like, oh, I hate this person because this person always slap me, never give me opportunity to learn or anything like that. Then you foster more hatred to each other, lor. At some point you need to see is slapping the smart idea, man. Sometimes it's just you need to just sit down and talk to the person. What?
Yes.
Again, this Era FM DJs, the way they done these things, okay, it leaves a bad taste in the mouth, lah. Like you look at a traditional dance that's supposed to be a celebration of like their culture, and you make fun of it in that sense. Yes, it's a bad taste, lah. But at the end of the day, you want to tell them, it's like, do you understand why it's a bad thing to make fun of this thing? That's the most important, because I'm sure they're coming in from a place of ignorance. I'm not sure if they're coming in a place of bad intention, lah. I don't know if they're coming in saying like, oh, because we hate all Indians like that. They probably just think, oh, it's a fun thing, it's a fun dance, lah. We don't understand why it's a bad thing, because it's fun.
Yeah, have to understand. Maybe their motivation, it's not saying motivation, maybe they're just want to make fun of, not just want to make fun.
Because it's a joke.
It's a joke. It's not make fun for the group of people, group of Indians. Maybe it's just make fun. It's sometimes like our lion dance is like cat dance. We doing. We also insult. If let's say I'm Chinese, I also insult. Wow, how come this sea lion, lion dance, no energy as to make fun of the.
But that's a different perspective, because you're like criticizing a performance rather than the culture itself. Whereas this would be like the Era FM DJ is actually making fun of the culture itself, lah. That's why, like, when you make that joke, it makes sense, because you understand
I'm Chinese.
You understand your culture,
yes.
so you have the idea of understanding of how to approach that joke, lah. Whereas for them, it's just like.
But if let's say I create a joke, of course we have this we call it positive and negative.
There's some misunderstanding that will happen.
Some people also, even I'm Chinese, I'm also insult. This fella, you think he not Chinese? Maybe some you are Malay, huh? How come you want to insult your own culture? Maybe some people also will score like the negative.
There will be like that, lah.
Some kind of people also.
There will be someone is too overly sensitive, lah.
Yes. So.
It's a balance there, lor.
Did you do a balance? The first thing we also talk. We have to respect. We have everything we do even we are do a public speaking or whatever. We pay respect for other people first. This is what I want to highlight, lah.
I mean, ultimately, again, for you is respect. Similarly, respect, and for me is also understanding, lah. Because a lot of this comes from ignorance and misunderstanding of different cultures and groups, lah. And that's why it comes to that. But also the fact that the reaction to it needs to make sense, lah. And we also need to be awake and to all these people using this as a tool to make it more divide us, or that's something that I feel like should be the main takeaway here. You can see how the politicians are quick to use this as a weapon, use this as a tool to further push the narrative of like racial divide and all this, no?
Become more controversial, bigger and bigger.
When there are bigger things to worry about,
the topic is become bigger and bigger. Even just the con man, actually it's a small thing, then become a bigger and bigger. Everyone also know the con man don't want to sell the con to the Indian people.
And the problem is like the solution is not even a good solution right now. All we do is just we punish them, done. That way no one can do it again. Whereas we don't look at them and say like, why are they thinking like this? Why people have this racist ideology still?
But I put in the other perspective of view, and we are looking at these the societies. Actually, we are good to have this conflict. We call it from conflict. The conflict actually will make our races to more understand.
I mean, you hope so, right?
Yeah, this is also with the positive thinkings. Come to the positive thinking. Oh, this happened in. How come they don't want to sell?
More awareness, lah.
Yeah, more awareness. Then we can criticize ourselves. How come our Malay? How come our Chinese is like that? Or this one is our own criticize. It's not saying make more angry. put this thing or make more angry and make more controversial. We have to learn from these even the comment issues and even those these DJ issues. We can learn from there. So to the next, maybe the next generation, or maybe the next what you call that, maybe other, we don't to do the repeating things again. This is what I'm thinking.
I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's all about understanding and empathy.
Yes.
If you just have an understanding of other people,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a problem. Like, you don't have to make this kind of joke also, you know.
Yeah.
You can do other things in your life that's not, you know.
Maybe someone is the one to make themselves famous. Or maybe they want to do something
But
like
that's
that.
an idiot law. That's a sohai. If you purposely want to get famous by doing these dumb things, then okay, it's obvious that you're an idiot.
But seriously, these 3 DJ I also not noticed before. But now I already
You're not
noticed.
famous.
Now already I
mean,
noticed.
I know one of them is a very famous comedian who's been around a long time. But the 3 as a group, I'm not familiar. But yes, now they are famous there.
Famous,
but is it famous for the right reason though? It's kind of saying like, why is Hitler famous? Hitler famous for a really bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's not really a good thing, you know.
Yeah. Hater.
That's why you are Trump famous like that. how you want lah. But I mean, again, let's hope this serves as a waking up for people lah. But I don't know lah. Maybe people will learn. Maybe people won't learn. We will see how lah.
Yep.
But how do you guys think about this? Is there a bigger issue at play here with the Era FMs and the racist dancing? Did they get enough punishment, or should we give more punishment, or should we just accept this is how Malaysia is?
Or you guys have any ideas? Any ideas for races? Or what's the ideas you guys want to put in? Just text us, and then maybe we can do the discussions for it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you have a better idea to discuss. We can bring it up in the next episode. But
Yep.
As always, thank you for listening and watching. If you enjoyed what we do, as always, please share, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. For the month of Ramadan, for those who are fasting, we hope you have a good Ramadan.
Yep.
Don't overspend during the bazaar because everything's super expensive.
Come to the bazaar. Actually, bazaar, I got one of my friends because not the bazaar, the bazaar, the food is
not good.
Not expensive. One issues lah. The way
quality,
the making the foods hygiene. Hygiene also got one issue.
You never see how the DBKL all is cleaning up all the illegal places also.
Maybe our next episode we talk about the hygiene.
We'll see. Until then, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you all on the next episode.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.